What would happen if a single missile launched a chain reaction that plunged the world into war? In this episode of What If History, we explore a terrifying scenario. Iran retaliates against Israel, and in the chaos that follows, the world spirals into World War III. Could the global balance survive, or would civilization collapse under nuclear fire? This isn't just fiction. History shows us that regional conflicts have a dangerous habit of drawing in great powers. From World War I to the Syrian Civil War, the spark is often small, yet the consequences are catastrophic. In our modern world with alliances, nuclear weapons and information warfare, the stakes are higher than ever. So, what if that spark lit the Middle East once more? It begins with a real-world powder keg. It's 2026. Tensions in the Middle East are at an all-time high. Israel has conducted a preemptive airstrike on Iranian nuclear facilities, citing an imminent threat. Several Iranian scientists have been killed. Tehran is outraged. The strike comes after months of rising tensions over uranium enrichment and satellite photos showing suspected weapons sites. Iran had been warned by both Israel and the US, but denied all accusations. The international community is split. Some back Israel's actions, others condemn them as aggression. Iran, cornered and enraged, begins planning a direct military response. The Israeli public braces for retaliation. Gas masks are distributed. Anti-missile systems are put on full alert. And in Tehran, war plans are finalized under the banner of national survival and vengeance. In the early hours of April 2, 2026, Iran launches a coordinated missile and drone barrage against Israeli military bases and infrastructure. Iron Dome intercepts some, but several hit home. Tel Aviv's power grid flickers. An airbase is partially destroyed. Hundreds are dead. The attack involves hundreds of drones and ballistic missiles launched from Iran and proxy forces in Syria and Iraq. Iranian media calls it Operation Justice. Satellite images show devastation across multiple Israeli Defense Force (IDF) sites. Civilian panic spreads as air raid sirens blare across the country. Israel responds with ferocity. Within hours, the Israeli Air Force is in the skies over Iran. Cruise missiles target radar installations, command centers, and oil refineries. A tit-for-tat war is now in motion, and there's no going back. Across the region, chaos erupts. Iran's proxies activate almost simultaneously. Hezbollah rains rockets on northern Israel, overwhelming even the upgraded missile defense networks. The Houthis strike Israeli shipping and energy sites in the Red Sea. The entire region plunges into fire and smoke. What began as a regional war is no longer regional. The United States sends carrier groups to the Gulf. It backs Israel fully. Russia, seizing the chance to shift focus from Ukraine, sides with Iran, offering intelligence, advisors, and weapons. China, hoping to weaken US influence, offers diplomatic support to Tehran and ramps up arms sales. The US deploys troops to Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Iraq to protect remaining bases. American airstrikes target Iranian missile facilities, inadvertently killing Russian technicians. Moscow demands an end to US aggression, then retaliates by arming Syria and moving naval assets to the Mediterranean. A US destroyer is sunk off the Strait of Hormuz, killing 120 sailors. In Europe, NATO goes on full alert. The Baltic states report cyber attacks from Russian-linked groups. Poland and Finland begin mass mobilizations. The world suddenly finds itself split into two camps, one led by the US and NATO, the other by Russia, China, and Iran. Markets plunge. Oil hits $200 per barrel. Social media spreads panic as fake news and real devastation blur together. The world teeters on the edge of global war and then crosses the line. The war spans continents. Triggering NATO Article 5, NATO and Russian air forces clash in the skies over Eastern Europe. Tactical nuclear weapons are deployed on a battlefield in northern Iraq. used by Israel to halt a combined offensive by Iranian and Syrian forces. The blast kills 15,000 soldiers instantly and irradiates the desert. It is the first use of a nuclear weapon in combat since 1945. The line is crossed. Russia responds by detonating a nuclear device above the Arctic Circle, harmless to life but loud in its message. World leaders convene emergency talks, but trust is gone. Communication breaks down. Cyber attacks blind satellites, shut down power grids, and cripple financial systems. Famine spreads in South Asia. Riots erupt in cities across Europe and North America. It is no longer a war between governments. Civil society itself begins to break down. After 2 years of global conflict, a ceasefire is brokered. Tens of millions are dead. Tehran and Tel Aviv are radioactive ruins. Europe is shattered by Russian invasions and NATO airstrikes. US economy is in ruins. China has collapsed into civil unrest. The United Nations no longer exists. In its place, new coalitions emerge, often based on geography, ideology, or survival. Nuclear disarmament is demanded by the surviving populations, but no nation truly complies. The shadow of war lingers over every treaty and every handshake. The world is colder, poorer, and more dangerous. Refugees number in the hundreds of millions. Disease spreads through camps and decimates cities. And amidst it all, humanity begins the slow process of rebuilding, scarred but not yet extinct. All of it from one missile. History teaches us that war escalates, that retaliation fuels retaliation. Could this happen? Yes, if diplomacy fails, if leaders choose pride over peace. This scenario may seem extreme, but it's built on real strategies, alliances, and technologies that exist today. The Middle East remains one of the world's most volatile flashpoints. Nuclear doctrine still includes limited, tactical use. And human error has brought us close to catastrophe before. Just ask those who lived through the Cuban Missile Crisis. Let's hope this remains a thought experiment, a what-if, one we never live to see. If you found this video thought-provoking, like, subscribe, and tell us, what's your what-if question for history? Let us know in the comments.